Madam President of the European Commission, esteemed members of the delegation, distinguished members of the press, I extend my heartfelt greetings to all of you. Once again, I would like to welcome Madam President and her delegation. We are leaving behind a year in which our contacts with the European Union and its member states have increased. First, my Minister of Foreign Affairs participated in the informal meeting of the EU Foreign Affairs Ministers after an interval of 5 years. Then, we met with Madam President von der Leyen at the European Political Communities Summit that was held in Budapest. Both in these meetings and in the contacts between our institutions, we have always stated the following. European Union membership remains a strategic goal for Türkiye. It is clear that our membership will make significant contributions not only to our country but also to the Union. Recent developments have further reinforced Türkiye's position as a key country. The primary agenda of our meetings with Madam President and her delegation was the joint steps that we can take forward to revive our relations. I conveyed to them that we expect them to put forward a new vision to further strengthen Türkiye's membership perspective. I emphasized once again that our common interests should not be captive to the limited agendas of some members. We can advance our cooperation with a win-win formula and on the basis of mutual respect. In this regard, I was pleased to observe that Madam President also values close cooperation and dialogue. Distinguished members of the press, I had a telephone conversation with Madam von der Leyen in the recent days. In that conversation, we underlined the importance that Türkiye and the European Union attach to the stability and security of Syria. In our consultations today, we discussed in detail the latest developments on the ground in Syria. I saw that we agreed on the preservation of Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and the establishment of a participatory and inclusive administration. After 61 years of tyranny, oppression, and darkness, the Ba'ath regime collapsed, leaving behind a huge wreckage. We are faced with a Syria where nearly 1 million people have been killed, half of its population has been displaced, and the country has been devastated by 13 years of conflict. It is not possible for the Syrian people to bear this heavy burden alone. Syria needs to recover quickly with the strong support of its neighbors, friendly and brotherly countries, and the strong support of the European Union and international organizations. I would like to make one thing very clear here. The international community, unfortunately, did not and could not give enough support to the Syrian people while they were being massacred for 13 years. Now it is possible to make up for this. The way to do this is to support Syria's reconstruction and development efforts. With this understanding, we opened our embassy in Damascus again on Saturday after a 12-and-a-half-year break. Türkiye will continue to stand by its Syrian brothers and sisters. Of course, in this process, the country should not be a hotbed of terrorism. The fight against both Daesh and PKK and their extensions was one of the main issues we discussed during our meeting. Türkiye is the only country, the only NATO ally that has defeated both terrorist organizations on the ground. We will definitely not allow these organizations to flourish. There is no place for Daesh or PKK and its derivatives in the future of our region. Distinguished members of the press, as you know, during these 13 years of humanitarian crisis and conflict, we have implemented various projects with the European Union. We expect that the Union would diversify the support it provides to ease the burden of our country to facilitate voluntary returns. It is crucial that this support is provided in the medium and long term, in a comprehensive and sustainable manner, including investments in fundamental infrastructure in Syria. We are ready to work together as a country that has carried out various efforts in this field in the northern regions of Syria. During our meeting, I also conveyed to Madam President the need to put an end to Israel's atrocities in Gaza and its aggression in the region. With the arrival of winter, the humanitarian situation in Gaza has worsened. Yesterday, another heinous massacre took place, again targeting a school. Yesterday, we learned that Khalid Nebhan, who 13 months ago kissed his 3-year-old grandson Rim, whom he called the soul of my soul, and sent him to heaven, was martyred yesterday. I say, may Allah bless him and his grandson with his heaven and his glory. Almost all of the 50,000 Palestinians who perished in the Israeli attacks are children, women, and elderly people, just like Rim and his grandfather. In my meeting with Madam President, I emphasized the importance of delivering humanitarian aid to Gaza and establishing a permanent ceasefire. I emphasized the need for our European friends to put pressure on the Netanyahu government. I shared our observations and views on achieving a just and stable peace in Ukraine without delay. Distinguished members of the press, Türkiye and the European Union need a stronger and more institutionalized relationship than ever before. As a candidate country, we do have this will. I believe that the European Commission will also show the necessary will under the leadership of Madam von der Leyen. I hope that at the European Council to be convened in 2 days, decisions are made that would remove all restrictions on relationships, that would revive the suspended high-level dialogues, that would meet our expectations on updating the customs union, and that would speed up the visa processes until visa liberalization is achieved. On this occasion, I hope that we will hold the Türkiye-European Union Summit as soon as possible and bring our relations up to the level where they should be. And I would like to thank Madam President and her delegation again for their visit. And I hope that our consultations will be fruitful, and I extend my greetings to all of you one more time.